guys still planning on TOP Hall? I know at one point in time you guys maybe asked about moving it to the park or. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys have an issue with Federal Reserve. Yeah. Yeah, we can get that moved too. Okay. You guys got a lot of interest this year. Okay. Very good. No, it's nice that you guys are still doing it. So. You guys got, okay. You guys got any questions for them at all about the park?
I don't.
Are you guys gonna need any power or anything down there? You think?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Do you charge other vendors to set up down there, or it's just whoever just get a hold of you to set up a table, or what? What is it? Do you know what that fee is?
It kind of depends on, you can do like a one-time fee or you can do buy into the whole year. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said too, you guys don't be afraid to reach out to some businesses too. Sponsor bouncy houses and stuff like that, you know. Okay. Banker's right there, so you can talk to him.
Right now, I mean, I knew the answer.
No. No, very good. You guys keep up the good work, so. We'll see you end of summer or this fall. All right, thank you. Any more on public time?
Don't know if Brandon Lane wanted to talk about some stuff.
Brandon, do you have anything or are you just listening in? Okay, sounds good. Thanks. Okay.
I just wanted to touch base on what you guys came to the final decision for banking, what you guys were gonna do with what accounts.
So we're gonna remove, well, I already signed the deal with the $500,000 with Court Trust, did that. I just feel that, and then he's working on the rest of the year of the budget to make sure what we truly need to start up for the next year, and then we're gonna move the remainder over to Reliant Bank. So, yep. So, we here, in a couple years, we'll look at moving everything over.
My treasury officer's good Nancy, so I gotta know certain answers. No, this is the easiest time to get hold of y'all, so.
And literally, they do it. Just today, guys.
Just
Got approved it today, so. So. Okay, we'll move on to fire department.
Fire department this month, last month we had 3 EMS calls. We had 1 fire call and 2 fire trainings. Nice quiet month, which is always good for everyone. The biggest thing I wanted to discuss is with the emergency plan, I have asked someone to come in and speak to the council. If you guys are available, he does a really good presentation on the whole picture, not just what fire does. And that's he gives a good class on the whole picture of the whole operation, on what is expected from the city, what is expected from the finance officer, what's expected from everyone across the table. He is available the 27th of this month at 7 p.m. It'll be about an hour and a half, but he does a really good job explaining everything and everyone's roles.
7 PM?
7 p.m.
I think we can make that work.
Would you like to meet down here, or
Wherever he's comfortable with,
okay, we can meet at the fire station?
How many people are gonna be there? Is it?
with the council, him and you guys, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna have your fire.
No, it'll probably just be Lonnie and myself, and maybe another chief officer.
Yeah, you just wanna have it.
You said 7, John?
7.
Okay.
If you guys got the room, we can do it there. If you want to
Yeah,
do it here,
we have the room.
okay, we can just meet at the
Might be a little warm. We don't have air conditioning.
in July. We'll just play better then.
If it's really hot, we'll move it downstairs. We'll put some fans on.
No, that sounds good. We'll just plan on fire hall.
Okay.
If anything changes, then we'll
27th, so.
7 p.m.
Okay.
So write it down. So did I hear right? You guys are going to be present at the end of the month for the fall.
Yes, we're gonna try to get volunteers up there for EMS tent.
I appreciate you guys doing that. That looks really good on the city's part, having you guys there. Good representation. So it looks good not just on the city, but Tri-Valley Ball also to have you guys there. So
I think we're looking at like a tent that we can put something on there that's posted that it's first aid station.
Okay.
I can't guarantee that there'll always be EMTs there, but first responders,
We'll staff it.
yes. Yeah. It'll be staffed. It'll be staffed.
It's a good look, I guess.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the EMTs in the park, we just want to be
Sitting right there.
So we'll be just kind of in the area all weekend.
Yeah.
You guys need a tent, or you guys got a tent and all that?
Yeah.
The city's got 2. You guys need canopy or whatever.
The ultimate goal is to have it staffed. Maybe a first responder, they can put on a Band-Aid. Like Monty said, be EMTs around, or there may be an EMT sitting in there at that time. But I'd like to have it staffed all the time, but it may or may not be an EMT that's exactly sitting right on.
Well, 'cause I know that last term and that term, it always seems to be hot. And I know Justin from Classic Corner last year, he was great enough that just kept donating ice and then just kept filling up pitchers of water and ice, keeping these. So you guys want anything like that? You can work something out that too.
The way the weather patterns, man, it's probably gonna be hot again.
So, want a bunch of water or something like that down there? Just something like that. Let us know what we can do to help.
So, yeah, that's all
I
I got.
appreciate you guys doing that. So,
That's all we got.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What weekend was that? What weekend was that?
The last weekend of June.
I'm not gonna slip.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm not gonna-
Hopefully had the years right.
Well,
So years.
I can't remember.
I looked through all the back and the dated, you're like, that's like, it seems longer than that though.
It does.
You could, you sound
Maybe there's supposed to be a 1 in front of it. Yeah.
I don't think it was that one.
Thanks, Colby.
All right, thanks.
Sheriff's report. Out of the way, not much there.
It doesn't want to work with me today.
That's okay.
You jinxed it with your phone.
I
We'll
know.
move on to Park and Recs, the ball lights electrical proposal. Okay, so you'll see in there, we got 2 bids. One's from Buster Electric and one's from Electric Construction Company. Now, we just kind of tell Buster, Pete and I are in kind of the process of trying to get maybe try and get in the budget for next year, another concession stand down at that little field. So with putting this wire in, we're actually doing an oversized wire to feed that concession stand too, once we're over there. Buster, is there anything you kind of want to speak on this, or what we really need to know on all this here?
The only
On your
difference between the two of ours is that they have PVC conduit between the breaker panel and the poles, where I was just putting in direct barrel wire. We're not talking about just a couple $100 of difference.
Okay.
The cost on my end if we wanted to do the conduit, not a huge deal.
Okay.
But yeah, it's,
No, there's,
other than that, it's mostly just apples to apples, so.
Okay.
So,
so and then you can see on the bottom of Buster's here, there's estimate cable to add
Mhm.
2938. That's if we talked about if we want to, since we have the hole open, burying another cable to that other little field. If we want to ever put lights on there, then it's there. So we don't
Oh.
have to put that in right now.
we have to trench right past it anyways,
Yeah, I don't think that's
and so
bad.
the $3,000 this year would probably save you 10,000 later.
Yeah.
We have to cross over a few things on the way there,
Yeah.
so all that labor would have to be done again.
No.
Well, we wouldn't go conduit all the way on the main feeds. That's just for the smaller stuff, yeah.
So, I just had Buster break it down so we understood what was getting outbid, and we can go our routes. If we want to have it there for future.
Where would you put that cable and cap it off, or where would you have
What I
it?
was thinking is basically right behind that little bleacher on that field, we would stub up a pipe and just leave that cable in that pipe and have that cut off, so maybe a post there or something to hold it so it doesn't get tipped over or ran into or whatever, and then someday when a guy wants it, you should be able to cut that pipe down and be able to utilize it again.
Okay.
So there will be, when that time comes, there will be a little more work that will need to be done on the main bleachers, on the main field. Some things will have to be reworked there a little bit, but it's the majority of the physical labor is done there by putting it in, so.
So my plan was, obviously, we would just tack this on to our loan with the ball lights.
Okay.
If we want to go that route, unless we wanted to pay. I know we don't have nothing budgeted for that
For this year.
this year, so that would just be my plan. Because with our loan, there's no early penalty to paying off, so if we want to get aggressive on that, we can too, so.
So my question is this all included in that initial bill that was approved a couple meetings ago to put the light poles in?
Nope, this was not, because our initial thought when we did this, we thought we already had a wire that was down in there when Sioux Valley came through. But you were,
So there, before the last field got relit, there was a wire that was ran out to the left outfield pole, and it was a spare, but when Sioux Valley redid everything there, they utilized that spare. So it's still stubbed up on both ends. It looks like it's there, but it's not, it's actually being used. It's cut in the ground. So we spent I don't know, day and a half or so over there tracking that wire, and finally dug it up, and it's being utilized, so
that was kind of an unfortunate surprise.
that's the issue, is now we have to trench a new one 700 feet around the ball field to get to it. And then, of course, with that distance, we have to have a really oversized cable and things of that nature, so.
What's the difference if you would like bore under the field? instead of going 700 feet around, just diagonal bore under it?
that I
Or is
couldn't,
that not doable?
that I couldn't tell you. I guess it's a possibility. I don't have the ability to bore, but I could price it if that's something you're interested in. Getting an underground contractor in to bore it.
What do you project on? I mean, that cost of him coming in and boring it,
I'm guessing it'd be about a wash,
would it be a wash?
just because I bring it in as another contractor and things like that. Unless, I priced this just barely above cost, so I don't know. Don't expect anybody else to do that either. So,
No,
but you're saving a lot of footage that way. I understand that, so it might be worth looking into.
anything on boring, Weston?
No, like board, wasn't trench.
Yeah,
I
So
probably
the
second
cost
that.
of
Might,
the-
it might just be a wash
Right.
or
This-
close to it.
The cost of the boring might eat up the cost of, or save
Well,
the cost of the extra
and
wire.
then here's the next thing, we eventually want to drain tile that field, so now we'll have a wire that we have to worry about that's in that field when we drain tile it.
Isn't there already some drain tile going through there?
I think there's one, isn't there? You know,
I
Yeah,
don't know, does it extend out?
there's a couple that's in there, cause I know John put some in. And I don't know, he said it ties in and goes to like, I think goes through the parking lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a tile that comes in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Then it crosses underneath Sixth, and then it makes its way up to Fifth, and then down here by Sherman. So,
do you want to explore that option, Matt?
I mean, might not be a bad idea just to kind of get a quick quote, and if it's a wash, it's a wash. But,
Well,
if we ever going to replace the cable in the future, I don't know. I guess I was just thinking of, could it be cheaper? It possibly could be. It's hard to say.
Well,
What are the chances of that getting done this year? Boring. So,
But my next thought on that though, Matt, is if we do these renovations to this field and we do drain tile, we want anything in there, in that field.
Which is the other, it might be more beneficial to go around it, just so we don't have to worry about the power wire under there when you do tile or need to replace tile or whatever in the future. I was just thinking of other options is all I was doing.
How far deep would you go with that wire?
Code says I have to be a minimum 2 foot of cover, so about 30 inches down is usually where I dig.
So about pushing the limit with drain tile and all
I mean,
that.
I can dig deeper than that too,
But that's gonna
but
cost you more than.
right, that'll have more cost.
I don't know, my,
what's your,
you go ahead, Julie.
oh, I just wanted, what's your availability if we approve this?
I'm looking at about the end of July.
Okay.
Well, they haven't even got back to us a construction date yet, so they must be falling behind themselves, so.
The last time I heard it was end of June, maybe.
Yeah, well, we should have heard by now
Yep,
if it was
that's what
gonna
I
be
mean.
June, so.
Okay.
I guess my,
We're not too far apart then. We
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's,
I guess, well, and if that's the case, then you're gonna trench, I just assume wait until country days and everything's over.
Exactly, because it's gonna kind of make a little bit of a mess.
You-
There's gonna be some dirt.
Yeah.
Get the kids.
Well, if we look at it too, we'll have that ball tournament in June. And big Tri-Valley tournament, so we don't want.
Yeah.
I guess my perspective and what I would prefer is the field. I guess that's just my thoughts. I don't, you guys can,
I kind of agree with that too.
And I'm fine with that too. It's just, just kind of throwing other options out there to see if they're even thought of. So
no, I
that's
appreciate it.
about it.
If I could add, I would recommend they put in conduit.
Put in conduit.
We just had enough trouble with gophers. I mean, I got the same situation across the street, but
Everything you got it? Feeders and everything?
I tell you what, if you got a problem, you just pull it in. But how much they can add,
That adds quite a bit.
that's a lot of footage. but
Yeah,
I would recommend doing what you can in conduit realistically.
I would leave the feeders alone.
Okay.
And maybe the circuits to the poles, put them in conduit. That would be easy enough to do. That'd be, I'd have to have a 4-inch conduit all the way out
That
there.
would be big, yeah. That's the one that she's got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, that's just a couple $100. It's not a huge difference. So.
What are your thoughts on the additional wire? Do you guys wanna?
I think we should because he's there
Mhm.
and he's already, he's already
Cost
doing
of
it.
wire isn't gonna go down.
That's
Right.
Materials are high and they just seem to stay there.
Joe?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Matt?
Same here. Yeah, same here. I agree with, if we can look in the future, if there's any kind of thought of putting lights or concession stand, I think we should do it now.
Okay, with that move being all said, we want to make a motion on approval of Buster Electric bid.
I'll make a motion with the changes of doing what he said, conduit.
Got a motion from Chaz,
I'll second it.
second from Matt Watnick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
Aye.
same
Now, with that, are we gonna add that to the loan? Do we have to?
sign. Well, add that to the law, which will be fine. It's all under one there.
Okay.
That being said, Brandon's on the line, so we applied for that grant with the Sioux Valley Energy for the lights, and Sioux Valley gave us $1,500 to go towards it too, so thank you, Sioux Valley, on that again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving forward, this is, we'll go with the Roadmaster sealant quote. Weston probably knows just as much on this as I do, or more. We should have, this is where he said we should have done the sewer.
This is for the concrete
Yeah.
crossing. And Jared's talked to me about it a little bit. We went out there and looked at it. So the asphalt that's been placed up to the concrete, that joint has started to deteriorate. And that water that's running across that concrete apron that gets down into that joint between the asphalt and concrete is further deteriorating, undermining that asphalt edge right there. So when Jared and I looked at it, I guess the maintenance solution that we came up with was to put a sealant there. Seal that up so that way we can mitigate that water from getting down that joint. That water then go onto the concrete spillway, I'll call it, and then exit to the east side of the road. So I don't know what that quote was for. I haven't looked at it. Jared hadn't shared it with me.
$7,400.
That's for all three of them, right?
That's for everything.
It's on Main, Fourth, and First and Glen.
So that's to do crack sealing as well.
Yep.
And that's another maintenance item, crack sealing on the highway. There's a few areas where there's transverse cracks where they need to be sealed up to extend that life of the pavement. So
Yeah.
With that chip seal and crack sealing, that's how you maintain asphalt.
Now I know Jared really stressed to me about
Yeah.
doing this because it's gonna be washing away here pretty soon on that new road if we don't do anything with it.
So what is the plan by those concrete spillways or the crossings for the water there? Are they going to grind down a little bit, put mastic, or are they just going to do just straight mastic over the top?
I believe they were just gonna,
Where it's deteriorating.
I believe they were just gonna clean that and then fill it with mastic and not grind. But I don't know if that quote states anything different or if Jared had a different
It's not
conversation
really.
with that company.
It really doesn't say that.
Asphalt, crack, route, and sealant, and then mastic.
So the route part would indicate that they're doing some type of opening of that joint to accept the sealant.
Mhm.
Got money for that, Matt? Or
Also got some money in the street. sheets for it, cause we budgeted. 'Cause it was 45 that we did for the, cause we budgeted for the streets in, 2 seconds, pull that up.
So the
'Cause-
inclusions are the
We budgeted-
labor, equipment, and air blast is what it says here, so.
Cause we've got for the streets, repair and maintenance is 59,000. That's just from the general fund, and then we've got another. If we go over to Second Penny, we got another 8,000 in there, so 67,000, and we spent 45,000 so far. So
What are we doing with the spots like in front of your house?
We-
They're cut out.
Well, that's part of the sewer. They're gonna come back and.
Oh, they're, okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, and I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that when we cover the project.
So, anybody got more any discussion on the proposal on this? And then I can get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion from Joe. Need a Second.
I'll second it.
Second from Julie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Passes.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just put us on your list.
We'll stay in touch. If you hear anything, let me know, or I'll stay in touch with Jared.
Okay, thanks, Buster. Good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
anything for public works?
I'll go Public Works. There's not, you didn't have anything on Public Works. Well, I guess I can go back to Ballin Park. Obviously, the pool's open, so we've had a pretty good week from just, what do we have? Almost 300 and something. Pull it up in the phone.
You got a good number.
I got it right here. So 379 visits already this week, first week being open, so a pretty good start. So.
Speak up a little bit.
That's it. Oh, but yeah, so we got a pretty good start. So, and then the Crooks bus coming up's been working pretty good. Hasn't had any issues. Been running pretty smooth. So,
It is going smooth. Good. That's awesome.
one thing we do
Oh.
need.
We breaking even on it or?
No, but we got a lot of businesses that want to, like, so I've had a couple now, just this last week, sign up for it, you know, and I think we're gonna see that now, this bus going, these kids getting on and these other kids getting left behind, I think they'll start getting on there. So one thing I do have is I have businesses and some residents that are donating to this, that want seats. But I need to get a hold of some families that are actually in need of it, so anybody knows any families from Crooks that could benefit from it, let us know. Because I know, well, it would be Kappas, Mike Kappas, or
Mhm.
not Mike,
Matt.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Kappas, there we go. And their coffee group, that they meet every morning with, always puts like $1 into the pot every day, and then they cash it out, and then they donate it to something that needs it. So they called and they give it to the bus program. They're giving about $250 to it also. So kind of told them the same thing. So we appreciate it. We need some names and some kids that really want to use it.
Yeah.
So I think we have about 23 or so kids signed up for it right now. So I think we have, well, as of right now, we should have about 6 or 7 seats available that are already paid for that aren't being used.
Okay.
So, and then I have more people waiting. I said, well, don't donate your money yet. So we can find some more families. So,
Yep.
Is there a way that we can, I don't know, maybe contact some of these daycares because they might know more of the people in Crooks that are in need, and just put a feeler out there, say, hey, you know, this is available if you have any family. We don't want their names, but if they can get a hold of us if they want to use it.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, because there's other government assistance programs for daycare and stuff. They might not know, and nobody might not know that they're struggling,
Yeah.
but the daycare might.
Well, that's my deal. I talked to Tobias from Trucks there, and he's like, "Well, I might know some, but I don't know how to approach them." And I kind of thought about it, and I told him, I said, "Well, you can just approach them without even talking about money. Just start talking, saying, hey, we have the bus. If you're interested, would you be willing to take a seat?" And just leave it at that. Don't even talk about money. Just get them have the seats. So he's gonna kind of maybe try and work on coming up with some other names too. So. Yeah, no, we can reach out to some daycares, Matt, and Trucks.
I mean, you know, it's an idea. You know, I asked a few of the people I knew in Crooks, and they go, "We really don't know anybody that couldn't afford it if they wanted to."
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have any names, so I was like,
Well, there comes a point too that
well,
we might, it's not necessarily that they can't afford it, but it might necessarily not be a financial smart decision for them either, you know, to do.
yeah.
So, okay. Well, maybe we'll explore that idea, Matt. So, okay, move on. City administration.
There's two things. I don't have it written on here, but there's a time off request. Just looking for June.
On the last page, you got one?
Yep.
Yep.
It's a little tiny one.
Yep.
June 30th and July 3rd and July 5th. Just wondering if I can get those days off. Then the other thing is there's another budget training. I went to it last year, but I'd like to go to it again. Just now that since I've got experience with the budget and doing all that, just having another year of it, I think would be nice. You know, that's July the 28th. That's just in Sioux Falls. It's, I believe it's from 8 o'clock to 2 p.m. So.
The only thing I got set is with your request time off.
Yep.
That kind of leaves kind of a big broad. I understand what you get. So I would just ask either you do the 30th or you can have the 3rd off. I don't care about that.
I'll pull off I don't
Either
have to
the 30th, just so we don't, that's just kind of a big span.
Okay. Yeah, here
Especially at the beginning of the month and
Yep.
everything's going.
well, I won't do July 5th then.
July 5th. Okay.
How's that sound?
No,
or do you want me to
whatever
work
you,
that Friday? Well, which one?
whatever one you want.
I'm-
I'm just saying there's kind of a big span. So if you'd rather have the 5th off, take the 5th off. If you'd rather have the 3rd off, or the 30th off, take the 30th off. We can discuss that too. You can think about it. You know,
Yeah, let me think about that some more, and then we'll talk about it. I'll probably have an answer for you by tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I'll be in the.
Okay.
Yep. And then I got the okay to go to that budget training.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, those are the things to do. So.
Yep. Just thought I'd just go over and let everybody know that's what I was thinking of doing. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have any concerns or questions? Okay, we'll move on to claims.
What is the 33,000 per banner?
That's the engineering works for that sewer lining project.
And that's coming out of that grant?
Yep, the grants and all that. We got to make the requests and all that. Get reimbursed for that. So once it's been approved on our end. So.
Did that other pool stuff, the toys or accessories or whatever come in?
Like the pool signs and.
Yeah, I knew the pool signs did the other
basketball,
stuff.
like
Yeah, the
Yep,
basketball
yep,
and stuff. Okay, awesome.
Yep, that's been going over. That's pretty good hits down there.
Has it?
Yeah.
I'll have to go down and check it out.
What are all the publishings for?
There is the publishings for the audits for the findings for for the audit we had. Then it's the minutes. Then they published, well, it turned, they published that, well, they didn't publish that public notice for the malt beverage license for the fire department till a week after we had the meeting. So, and then the other ones, let me quick pull it up because they sent that over. Pull up. Let me quick grab that. They are minutes for. They're saying those ones are for other minutes, but I only would have published. Well, there was the small minutes from the smaller one would have been, there would have been 2 minutes as well. We had the two of them are minutes for once, because we've got because we had the old minutes and then the new ones. Or no, that we just approved those. What are they saying in that one? I'll give them a call about these last two and seeing if they're double charging us for that, because we only needed 1 minute.
What about the election and stuff?
Election, that wouldn't, we wouldn't, for Matt, those ones wouldn't, no, we wouldn't have needed that. That one had a separate publishing. They would have marked that as election. They've got them marked as election. And then, minutes, and one says for graduation. I don't think we call them tomorrow. Know about that because I'm looking at so I think they're double charging us on one of the minutes.
Same price.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then I don't know. One of the items they list is for a graduation, and we didn't approve the graduate. We didn't do anything for that. For 5/12. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at it. I was just looking at it, and it looked like there was just a lot of publishings, and I was like, well, what all did we need to be published?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I brought it up. I mean, a lot of them are small amounts, but it just seemed like a lot of publishing.
Yeah, I think there's. Let me go talk. I'll talk to them and then figure out which ones all of them were, and if they double published a couple. Because I'm thinking they're double charging us for one of the sets of minutes looking at this, and then I don't know what this graduation one's about. But they got listed on here. Okay. So we'll not cross off that we're doing till next meeting for the New Century.
So you need a motion to approve claims with the exception of New Century?
Yeah.
I'll make
If that was anybody, if you had any more questions, let me know. I think that was the rest of them look right. There's one of them because I didn't include the totals in here because I need to talk to them still. Because like with that South Dakota one call, they're saying our bill is $300. It's normally not even over 40. So I gotta talk to them about that, and I gotta talk to.
Mine shows nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't include it.
He
on.
didn't include.
Oh.
I was filling that out when I was in, but I haven't had a chance to call them yet.
Mhm.
And so
Since they were getting 90 calls for locates a day
Mhm.
to this fiber optic project, that all adds up.
Mhm.
okay. So,
I would think, yeah.
Yeah, and I know Pete, he was constantly doing locates and.
It's probably 3 days a week of work.
Yeah, they've been locating like crazy, so.
I just wanted to check and make sure.
Well, yeah, you can check and make sure, so.
The Sioux Valley, so the total is at 2,200, so that total 49,000, is that like year to date or something, or what's that?
That's this month. That's all the claims this month. that are
Oh,
all
that's the
registered.
total, all the claims together. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I know. It kind of looks like it's saying that.
Yeah, that's what I was like, where the hell did that come from?
We just get a claim or approval without New Century Press.
I'll make that motion.
From Joe, second from Chaz. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same
Aye.
sign. That's the claims. Okay. Appointment for vacancy to council. So I know there's one person that's interested in the seat. Tyler Evans. For Diane's seat. It's all totally up to you guys if you want to fulfill the seat with Tyler. Appoint him the next year in April, or next year he'll have to get a petition and fill it all out and get it signed. Or we can wait till next election, which will be next year, and then see if it'll be or someone that wants to come in and fulfill it. So unless you guys know anybody else in that ward that wants to come on.
I haven't heard anything from anyone else, so.
I'd really like to have a fall council, so I mean, if there's someone interested, I'd like to have them on there. And like I said, you're still gonna have to come back on next year and
Do a petition and do everything.
do
else.
all that, so. You guys-
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Joe,
I got no problem.
Matt, what's your thoughts?
I got no problem with that. I'd like to have a full council too.
Well, obviously I can't make the recommendations, so you guys can do. Well, I can make the recommendation, but you guys can have to vote on
I'll make the recommendation to bring
Tyler
Tyler.
Evans on there. And Julie made the recommendation, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Chaz, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those-
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay, the resident sewer credit. So going back to that, I know we talked about turning down, we turned away from the summer sewer rate. Had two residents that reach out that were not too pleased with that because of their pools. It wasn't necessarily the gardens or whatever. It was their pools. So they're wondering if we maybe explore the option of having a sewer rate drop for pools. So my suggestion and thought was on it that we do not more or less we just give them applied credit to their account. So they'd have to come out and fill out the application and what day, month they did. And we round up to thousands on it. So if their last month water bill was 3,000, take the average for the month and the average is all around 3,000. And this month it was 13,000. Obviously, no, they used 10,000 gallons of water. So subtract that off and just credit it to their account. There's no what your thoughts on that. I thought that might be the easiest way to do it. But you round it to the nearest thousand. So it's with that like 10,500. Obviously, you can round it down. Not up, sorry. If you want to round it down, let's see. So it'd be at 9,000. These 9,000 gallons for their sewer. You know what I mean? They're still going to be paying the same on the water. They'll still be paying their full water rate, but I'm talking sewer.
Is this only going to be by like application only?
Yep.
And just for the initial month of filling, or are you going to do that for like the whole
I think
summer?
we just do initial months of filling. So if it's, I mean, we want to do
So
what?
if they're topping off their pool, it would be just, it's going to be what it's going to be with the sewer added on, or are we going to, because
No,
we all
if they're
water about
if they're topping off, it's a one-time application. So there's no topping off the pools. We're not going to go through all that paperwork every time they want to,
150 gallons of water in the pool.
you know,
Only recommendation I do is you do it for hot tubs too.
hot tubs and pools. You guys good with like rounding to the thousands?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep. And then I like the idea with the credit too.
you know, no money exchange, just they'll see it applied to their next.
So they would just have to pay for that current month and then they'll see the credit on the next month.
You can set.
Is that gonna be pretty
Just
easy to
me.
do?
I can just make the adjustment in there for,
If you got an application, you can keep it right there by your.
Yep.
So what do we want to do for months? Want to just do May and June and then it's done?
I don't know, because I mean, some people
Or-
might fill their,
Hot tub in the fall.
the hot tub in the
Yeah.
fall.
I'd say as long as each resident gets one pass, pretty much.
One per
Use it.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One a year?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
One
I
a
agree with that.
No. We should check. We probably need to do a resolution and all that on this.
yep, we will.
Okay.
Because we're
So-
we're messing with sewer rates.
We want, before we went through the hassle of all that, right now the resolution, we just want council's on board in which direction we go. So now Seth will move forward and we'll have a couple readings on it and then we'll move forward. So
Sounds good.
We get something right up for the next meeting, you know? Okay.
we'll move on. Now we'll move on to the radar speed limit signs. So I got one more business that contacted me back. They finally got back to me. They're gonna give me a price for a couple signs. I told them 3. I know they're obviously expensive. I don't know if we'll be able to do a forward and backwards. That's requiring 6 signs.
I'm pretty sure those are only like a one-way sign because they got like a radar gun that shoots towards the traffic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'll have to buy, if we do every road coming in town, we'll have to buy 6 of them. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we wouldn't have to buy 6. Because that other way, yeah, we probably have to do 6.
I always thought.
My-
communities
okay,
rented
my-
those.
Oh,
Like
My
the
question
trailer
is,
ones?
are we able to request the sheriffs to sit in certain locations?
Hold on, sorry. What's that, Matt?
Are we able to request like deputies and sheriffs to sit in certain locations when they sit there? Because it always seems like they're sitting at KOP Hall. You
Yes, I
barely
do.
see them driving around.
I do have the sheriff number. I'm gonna make, that's one of my calls. Cause I did ask about the one time when we seen that post of why they were sitting up at the cemetery for 4 hours that one day. And now I know why. It kind of makes sense because at that point in time, there was a certain person that was kind of selling drugs over there by the park. So that
Oh.
was their way of sitting up there and watching it,
Oh, okay.
trying to catch it. So
They told me at one time they don't like sitting in residence and stuff because that just gives them an excuse to go egg their house and stuff like that.
no,
I mean, so why invite that up on somebody that lives in town?
yeah. My only recommendation would just be sitting on the edges of town. And then the one would be right now is coming down to the ball fields. I had a couple kids just scream through that on Park Avenue, you know, that one east field. And there's cars on both sides and
Right.
they just went flying
Oh,
through there.
really?
And I'm like,
I know them semis were doing well over 50 coming in and out of town this morning. I mean, even leaving town.
which we don't have nothing budgeted for these this year. We can look, see what the next one, the other company comes in. Maybe we can budget.
Who's the other company?
Is it AVS? I think that's what it was.
Was this one through Traffic Safety Warehouse? I know there's one up in North
ATS.
Dakota. I can't think of the name of it either that the state uses for some of their temporary traffic control signs. I'm pretty sure they would have these too.
Yeah, if you want to look into that, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, it probably won't be for a good week before until I get back to work, but I can definitely get that information and see if I can't reach out. I think I got one guy's contact up there still.
So the one that I've been talking to that's going to give me one is ATS Traffic. Or all traffic solutions, I guess is what it comes out to be.
Okay.
So, and they do have a municipality discount. And then if we signed up, I can't remember what the heck the name of the group is, we can get up to 13% off. So you're ordering 6 signs, you get 13% off. I mean,
I wonder if there's a way we could piggyback off of like the state bid process.
the what?
The state bid, because a lot of these companies got to do like a state bid
Yep.
for like the DOT or any, state government. I wonder if there's a way we can piggyback, because I know the county can on certain items where you get the price the state would get.
Yeah, but is that for digital signs though, or is that just for signs?
Well, the signs they all come out of the prison. They might have a contract for these signs, but I don't. I'm trying to think of any state highways that have them that the city didn't put up. I think
Okay.
I think it's city responsibility for these.
Yeah. Well, Seth talked to Sarah.
I
from
can call some
Crooks
people.
and on that.
What's that?
Seth talked with that Sarah and Crooks and what they spent on theirs, and
About 6,000
about 6,000 for their both signs are one.
for one sign
Yeah, one sign.
each.
So
She said she was gonna get back to me with a better number, but because that was before she was hired, but that's what she was
Yeah.
thinking they paid for, but I haven't heard back from her yet.
Well, should we just table this until next month then? until
yeah,
get
well, we
some
don't
more-
have the budget.
we
We-
can't-
So
we don't
we
have
just
money.
wanted. I just wanted to see what council, if you guys want to even want to spend this kind of money on signs.
I mean, coming into town, I have no problem with, but leaving town. I don't know.
You're more afraid of the ones coming into town. Yeah.
I mean, we can start there, I guess.
Yeah.
If they just show any progress, well, then maybe we could probably invest in it.
Then we can maybe look into that other solution that you're looking at, Matt. So,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, It'd be nice to get them cheaper, but I think when I talked to the guys out in Howard, they said they're paying that 5,000 to 6,000 for them too.
Yeah.
And theirs are all solar.
That's what these are too.
Yeah, well, I don't think we want Jared to go out and change battery packs.
No.
He'd probably kill us. So,
I think there'd be a new appointment for the council students if that happened.
so, okay. Well, we'll move on from that. We'll just table it for now and look forward. Do you want to add on? I was gonna see if council will, I don't know if they'll do anything, but at least around the park, we can get these signs right now. I know it's not in color, but these are like yellow, that yellow caution sign. If we can get a few of those to put around the park down there, maybe raise attention. Like these 15 wash for children.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful with that 15 mile an hour because that's a posted. What's the posted speed limit there? 25.
Well, these would just be put out during the ball games and stuff,
Well,
right?
we can drop these ones, like, yeah, if we want to do these ones on the bottom, we can do that, or we can get ones that go mount on a pole. So,
Yeah, it's just dropping the speed limit if there's a current speed limit up becomes an issue.
yeah,
I think it's 20 around there, isn't it?
yeah,
The only street that's 15 is Main here. Or 4th, I mean.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so. So,
I mean, if we're able to pick the speed limit on them, and if we order them through the prison, we could say, okay, this is kind of what we're looking for, but we need 20 mile per hour versus 15. It's just that, I know with the traffic classes that I've had through the state, if you post a slower speed limit, you have to cover up all the other speed limits that are visible. Otherwise, one's null and void, and they're obviously going to void the slower mile per
I
hour.
don't even think we even have a posted speed limit sign except the one that comes into town off the gravel road.
Okay.
Just would drive up there. Okay, because you can always throw some duct tape over it.
I mean,
That or replace it with this one.
but my deal is I don't know how visible these would be on a sign or on a post, because once everyone parks up there for ball games, it gets pretty hidden. Now, the next concern is that Park Avenue field, once there's cars on both sides, you stick one of these out and there's no
Run over it.
either, so.
Yeah.
Speed bump.
Put a speed bump in, Weston.
We can tell them to throw a little extra asphalt next speed bump over there.
We'll eventually get to fixing it.
Have Pete out there painting.
And
Or else
it's,
it's in on the road.
that road's too fast. Every hour.
We did at the parking lot down in Smithfield. We just got them small curbs and we just put stakes
Well,
in.
I just thought about even just getting those for when games are going on, we just wheel those out.
They pull across.
And then when there's nothing going on, just leave them back up. 'Cause I don't know if we can legally put speed limits on a public street. Can you?
Can you put speed limits on?
Or
cars?
speed bump, sorry.
You probably have to sign it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I think you'll have to sign it.
Speed bump ahead.
And that's fine if we want to look, I'd rather do it that way. Especially around the park. And there's kids running around, especially in them games, there's a lot of little kids running around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna, been lucky, fortunately enough, nothing's happened, but especially this year now with the town road, everyone's coming through that back way now.
The only issue I see in that is, everyone that pulls their trailers out to the dump goes by there. They hit that bump and stuff's gonna fly out and they're not gonna
Down
stop
to
picking up
Main
their
and go
stuff.
around.
I think it's a good idea. I think we need to do something there.
Put it on the gravel road. I don't think we need to put it on the,
You just talking the blacktop on the.
I think we just go down Park and then, the ball field road there. I don't think we
I'd
need
probably just start with park. That's, you can always add more
to look into that speed limit then,
speed bump.
or speed bumps, not speed, saying speed limit.
And so just kind of looking at these pictures, that double pane, like, you know, the stand-up ones that you can put out in the middle,
Yeah.
the one that just says caution, watch for children, I'd be all right with that one, you know, like somebody just goes out and sets them in the middle of the street or even on the curb line.
Yeah.
They got different ones than these though, too. They got ones that stand straight up.
Oh,
And they got like a rubber mat, like a traffic
Yep.
cone.
Yeah.
Cause those are the ones we've got on Smithfield to get run over all the time.
Yeah, you know, all I'm saying is like, I'd be cautious with the mile per hour on it, but you know, if you can just do caution children at play or children present or something like that, I'd be all game for it.
Okay, we'll look into those options then. So. All right. All right, Weston, we'll get you out of here. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry for making you sick through the whole thing.
I knew I was on the end of the agenda. I stopped in earlier, but,
Keep putting him back there, you know?
Well, there's only one thing before his.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make him Monty stay a little bit longer.
I mean, this is just a matter of making a motion.
Yeah.
we have 2 action items tonight on the sanitary CIPP project. So we got pay request number 2, and then there's a change order as well. So it'd be change order number 2. First, I'll give a progress update. So they've installed or replaced 3 of the manholes. They've installed all of the main line liner. So that would be everything in the main, which is approximately 7,000 feet. That's been completed by the subcontractor. And then they've also done the cementitious liner on the manholes. So inside the manholes, they've rehabilitated the inside of that by lining that with cementitious liner to extend the life of the manhole. And that was done on approximately 21 manholes. Yet to be completed on the project would be all of the lateral liners. So there's still 90 services that need to be lined yet. And then they are going to go on those 20 manholes and replace the casting or the lids that are in the asphalt surfacing. So the chimney that comes off the top of the manhole structure that has rings, and there's a lid or a casting that sits on top of that. So they'll be cutting the asphalt out, pulling that lid in those rings, which would make up the chimney. They'll pull that off of the structure, put new rings on, a new casting on, and then that'll get asphalt back around that casting. So where the manholes were replaced, those cutouts will get repaved or new surfacing placed as well. So right now they overfilled those areas just so you could drive through there. They'll come dig that back out and then they'll place asphalt.
Okay. I was just curious what you guys were doing with that.
They are thinking the lateral liners for the surfaces, they're likely going to try to take care of those in July. That might leak into August as well. As far as the castings, I did talk to the contractor. He's unsure when they're going to schedule that work to be done. So the castings, they want to do all the asphalt work at one time, mobilize the contractor one time.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the castings replaced, and then they'll mobilize the contractor to repave or resurface those areas where they replace the manholes. Once I find out when they're going to complete that work, I'll let Jared know, and I'll let the council know as well. We are waiting, so we had kind of talked last meeting about the manhole structure that sits by the elevator. It's actually underneath the auger where the elevator sits there. And we did televise that line and pinpointed where that structure is at, or fairly certain where that structure is at. It's still going to be pretty difficult to get to. Talking to a contractor, he wasn't very comfortable digging next to that structure. And then there's a trough under, if you know the area I'm talking about, so it'd be the east side of the elevator. And there's a trough there with an auger in it or a conveyor in it. And that structure there is one monolithic piece. And then it's also connected to a trough that's inside that building as well. So if we did want to get down to this existing manhole structure, we'd probably have to replace that entire system. And I don't know what that would cost, and we'd be excavating a pretty deep hole next to that structure. So I guess looking at that and evaluating that, it's probably not going to be a good option to try to excavate down next to that. We did have a meeting with, and I forget the gentleman's name, they've just taken over the elevator, it's under new ownership. We did have a meeting with them on site, and they had indicated that they want to keep that structure. If they had thoughts that maybe they would demo that structure and, wouldn't need us to rebuild this trough and concrete section back, it'd be a lot easier task. But since they indicated they want to keep that, I just don't see a very cost-effective option to be able to go replace the structure. What we had done is we sent a request for a proposal to relay the sanitary sewer line outside of the elevator area. It's still within the railroad right of way. And this was just to get a price from a contractor. There's no obligation to move forward with anything. It was asking Holstein, if we were to ask you to do this work, what would it cost us to get this done? After we received that, and I just talked to them today, they're working on it. But after we receive that, I'll come to the council, explain, what they're proposing to do and what that cost is. And then we can move forward and see if we want to look at that alternative or look at other alternatives. At this point, we've scratched that lining from the project.
Or didn't Pete say last month that if something happened, they can actually eliminate that part of the line?
On that one,
Yeah.
I don't think
That one
we
we
can. That one, because that one.
That would be if we reconstruct through like behind the behind the funeral home.
Yeah, there's some option, he said. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
So if we do, cut across, so we'd be cutting a diagonal behind the funeral home and take that section out that has a manhole underneath the elevator or by the elevator. We can take that section out if we put this bridge piece in. But this bridge piece goes through the drainage channel. There's a guardrail that runs the east side of the elevator auger. And then there's also a culvert that takes that channel drainage underneath 4th Street. So there's still a fair amount of work that would have to be done, even to put this bridge piece in. And it's a costly option. I mean, it would be costly. Another option would maybe be to bore that sewer line. But then again, we're boring something at a pretty flat grade. We'd probably have to do something like a jack and bore where they'd come in and use an auger system to auger underneath. Either way, it's costly to do it. So, but that's why we're evaluating it. What is that cost, and what are some other options? So once we get that proposal, I'll be able to present that as well. As far as progress, that's kind of where we're sitting. We've got a good portion of the work done. This last month was a pretty big month, I guess, for getting the main liner in. These next few months will be focused on getting the services completed.
They did good. I think they did what they needed and got out.
Yeah, they did a good job. They're on schedule. They're getting their work done. So this pay request number 2 is in the amount of $188,122.75. And the balance remaining, and this includes that change order. We had a pretty large deduct change order that was passed last time. But the remaining balance is $809,618.39. That would be for pay request number 2.
Any questions for Weston or concerns on this?
No.
No, am I missing where the change order was?
So I can, and the change order would be, you know what, I might have, okay, it's right there. It isn't.
Change order.
That
That
change
was
order.
at the end.
It's at the end? Okay.
And I'll cover that change order here. Should I just cover them both, Trevor? Was that?
Yeah, you can cover that. Yeah.
Okay. Change order number 2. So this is in relation to the manhole structure. There's an existing manhole. There was a manhole replaced on Park Avenue and 7th Street intersection, so by the ball fields. There's a service from that southeast corner of the Park and 7th intersection that comes into the south side of that manhole. It was unknown that service came into that manhole. The new manhole structure was made. it was not produced with that penetration in the south side of it for that service. So when it did get on site, the contractor removed the old manhole, identified that they've got a sewer service that needs to get hooked back up to the main. Generally, we like to hook it into the sewer main and not into a structure. But given the orientation, how it was coming into the structure, it would have taken a lot of excavation of the existing roadway and back into their property to get that rerouted. So to save some cost, and it was put back, in a similar fashion that it was before. They had to field modify the manhole. So they had to cut a penetration into the manhole and then connect that service. So this would be compensation for that extra work that they hadn't accounted for in their bid. And that cost is $1,515. That's pretty consistent with what we would see. Generally, we'd core drill a manhole, and then we'd also have a connection or a service connection fee that would go along with that. So it's a reasonable price that can be justified, or that we can justify using other bids on similar scopes of work.
That's fair enough.
You just need a motion for it?
Yep.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve it with the change order.
Number 2.
No, change order number 2.
A motion from Joe, second.
I'll second it.
Second from Julie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Then the last thing I have before I get out of here, so everybody's got a binder in front of them, each of the council members. So this is it's more of an introduction binder. We're just rolling this out. We're doing this for a number of the communities that we work with, a number of different entities we work with, different boards we work with. So it's to introduce Banner, inform you of the services that we can provide, ways that we can help the community out. Now, initially here, this binder is going to each of the council members, and what it's ultimately intended for is in the future, if council members change over and a new council member takes a seat, then I would provide them with a new binder, or provide them with a binder. Generally, my experience, when somebody takes a seat or is new to the council, they don't know that Banner was performing the engineering services. They don't know what services Banner provides. They don't know how we can help the community. And this is hopefully to help with that, hopefully to give a little bit of information about our company. And if there's some things that, you need help with, and you see, well, I see Banner does this type of surveying, or does this type of environmental work, or other type of inspection services, then it's a way to promote our services, but as well help our clients understand what work we do. So that's the intent.
So you come bearing gifts too.
Well, yeah. Next time I'll come with a little more swag that'll say Banner on it. This doesn't go very farther than the bookshelf. And maybe it doesn't even make it that far. I don't know.
Well, it's a nice binder though.
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
is.
put it on the coffee table, so when people come over, they can.
They did do a good job putting it together. I'll say.
Oh,
It looks pretty.
It does look
Yes, it
nice.
does.
We'll move on to liquor license here. Malt beverage.
All right,
Sorry, not
thanks.
liquor, malt beverage.
Thank you.
Liquor.
Thanks, Weston.
Gotta make that distinction.
Yeah.
They're two different licenses.
Yeah.
Okay, we are.
It's, it'll be this page.
Yep,
It's-
I'm getting there. I'm here.
Okay. Same deal as it was, I'll talk about it if it's just. Same deal as it was last month, but that, as I was saying, they didn't publish the notice until after we had the council meeting. So it made it invalid, because if you read it there at the bottom, approval of local boards, it's gotta be 7 days before, or it has to be officially published, so it means in a newspaper. And I talked to the Department of Revenue, and they said even though I had it out in the window, that still didn't count as an official publication. And so that's why we have to do it again. So it made an invalid hearing, so they would have thrown it out for like applications. So we're just Nothing's changed on it, same exact form.
Okay.
This one we do need an approval, correct?
Yep, we need the approval. Need someone to make the motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Nick seconded it.
Want to explain it? As you guys-
Chad abstains,
Abstain.
yep.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Aye.
same. Okay, passes.
Yep, I'll get that submitted and then I'll get that that check cash then. Yep.
That's pretty much good. Thing to add, so, you know, with that new membership software that we had, we have that events page, you know, so we kind of told the lifeguards and the pool staff, said, well, you know, you guys kind of make it your own. What kind of events would you like to have or host, you know? So they're coming up with some ideas. The one, they want to do a movie right in the pool, which I think, I said, that's fine. I said, we'll look into it. I don't think there'll be any issues on that one. I said, if we do a movie, obviously the diving board and the slides will be shut down. No one can go off of that. They're fine on that one. The other one was, which I'll have to talk to Patrick and probably our insurance to see if we can do it, but they want to do a glow party in the pool. So like, kind of be like glow lights, glow sticks, stuff like that. We'll probably have to look at what glow sticks are approved to go in that pool, just in case one breaks. But they're asking if they could open the pool back up at 10 and do it for a couple hours. And I'm like, well, maybe we'll start at like 9:30 till 11 or something like that. But just wanted your guys' your thoughts on that. What you thought?
I got no problem with that. They want to try some different stuff. I mean, as long as they're safe and everybody's
That's just
accounted for and stuff. I mean,
I just told Amber and them that I said if we do the glow ones has a little concern to me if we're opening up back up at like 10, you know, and it's dark. I said we'll have a glow party, but it obviously can't be completely like dark. Like it's gonna have to be at some light,
some kind of lighting. Yeah.
emitting from somewhere. So
Well, and not only that, but most curfews are, you know, for the kids that can drive, you know, the parents would have to bring them there because it's late enough at night that you're almost gonna need parental supervision.
yes, yep. So there would be an age restriction on it too. 'Cause obviously, we don't want 5-year-olds that
Right.
probably can't swim the grass in the bottom of a black pool. So, no, so, well, I just told them, I said, I'm gonna bring it up to council, get the council's feeling on it. Then I'll do, if the council's good with it, then I'll dig into the back end of it.
And then also with this glow, say they leave them in there and they get sucked into the system, how's that gonna react?
Well, that's what we'll have to what we're gonna allow in there. So,
Pete's opinion on everything, you know.
yeah,
about
then I'll
that.
talk to Pete about it. And how,
But no, like the movie night, I know when I was in high school, they used to do a movie night down there where you could bring in your floatables and all that kind of stuff, and you hung out, and you know, I think that's a good idea.
yep. No, they just wanna try some new things. And I said, absolutely. So, whatever they wanted to try, we'll just bring it up to council. And so I think they wanted to do a teen evening too. So just maybe like a teen only and later on. So maybe the pool shut down at 8 and then stay open until like 10 or something, or an hour. So, or vice versa, pool shut down at like 4 and then maybe 4 to 8 is teens only or something like that. So.
Yeah, as long as staffing and manager and everything are cool with it, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
There's the safety thing as
No, I
well.
think
And then
it's
if you kind of let
great
them
to
have
get-
it, make it their own a little bit, they're gonna be invested in it.
Take ownership.
They're super excited this year about everything. So they like the software. They like how the pool house looks now. So
That
they're
first
ready.
day that
They're-
we.
Yeah, they're excited for the change. So, and then we redid all the concessions stand in there. Man, we made so much more room down there. So you guys get a chance to go down there and check it out.
Come down there.
Chaz hung a fan up for them, so they like that.
Awesome.
So, no, we made some, I mean, really, would we have probably $700-800 we spent on the pool this year. And what we got out of it, I mean,
Well worth it.
well worth it. I mean, people were, so I got some people that want to do an adult night in the pool. Like, how do we do an adult night fundraiser night? You know, so I'll call them like, well, that one might be a little trickier.
Mm.
Look into that one, but
Yeah, I don't.
I know the wife and the grandkid went down there. She ain't been down there since my kids were young, and she really appreciated it. And looked really nice.
yeah,
She
No.
really looked good down there.
yeah, no, that was my biggest thing is you want them to come back, gotta get the moms that
Yep.
don't feel disgusting going in there, because it
Yep.
was disgusting when you walked in on the pool hall. It was,
She said she'd be back.
no, so I had a lot of parents that were happy, and now I got parents asking, well, what can I buy for the pool?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they said loungers. I know one thing that'd be nice is loungers.
Yeah,
Monetary
that would be-
donation for repairs is also
Yep,
appreciated.
So we talked about a liner.
Speed limit sign for outside.
Speed limit signs.
Yeah.
Well, we are gonna apply for a grant for a liner next year, so we're gonna get in the process of putting that all together. GFP has a match grant, so they'll match whatever the city puts in.
And we could have fundraisers to help.
Well, and that's what my wife's on that, and
Yeah,
And
she's been trying hard.
well, her and Janae are gonna start one back up this
Are
fall
they?
or this summer.
For the pool?
And she's like, well, if anything, too, we can get the consent. And she's like, there's that money we could use for the liner on the pool too. I'm like, well, let's just see what it comes out to, what it budgets. I'd hate to use that fundraising money to go get used for that, But, so hopefully now with these changes, some people get a little bit more excited and yeah, they're like, well, let's do a adult night, fundraising night for it. And you get
Aluminum
alcohol.
cans only.
Yeah, no glass. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, that one might be a little tough, so.
So one thing I was gonna say is I drove by there the other day and that roof on that pump house is in rough shape.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to temporary fix it up.
Well, we're gonna look at some cosmetic fixes on that too. We can do that, so.
Cause you can see right into it. Like there's a big hole in the fascia on the one side.
Oh,
Yeah, the thing got neglected. And so it's time to put some I mean, we didn't, like I said, we didn't spend very much on it this year, so.
Yeah, I mean, we cleaned up, or you did a lot of it, but cleaned up everything and then if we can just patch the holes, and paint stuff for now and until we figure out what they're gonna do with their,
And then
the whole pool thing.
I did talk to the Colton Lumberyard. We're gonna get a price together for a package for an 8x16 shed, like concession stand shed. We'll do half concession, half storage for the ball fields. So when they do chalk the ball fields and rake the ball fields, they don't, because everything's underneath the bleachers now.
oh,
So
okay.
they got rings. So it'd be nice to have another storage down there. So I talked to the Colton Lumberyard about putting the bid together just for materials, and then I'm gonna reach out to Tri-Valley Shop Class and see if maybe do a small donation or whatever. It's the shop class would like to build it too. So we can always start there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Otherwise, Chaz, I and Pete will build it.
That'll help too.
Yeah.
If I'm not working.
We do what we did with the stands. Or,
But I did tell the lumberyard I want just steel roof. I don't want to mess with shingles or nothing. So. Otherwise, that's all
I'll
I
take the
got.
leftover like I did last time.
What's that?
I'll take over the leftover.
But
I'll throw that in my metal pile, so
Yeah.
melt it down.
no, that's pretty much all I got to add. I mean, is there anything else? Otherwise, we can adjourn.
The only thing I was gonna bring up is, do we know that, like the Golden West, all their contractors? Cause we paid all that money to have the streets swept.
I know.
Are they gonna clean up their mess? Cause they got a mess.
They are terrible.
I'm gonna
Oh,
contact.
yeah.
I got that guy's number because I've had several residents reach out and they're not happy on how their yards are left.
I'm very disappointed, especially when I had to pick up water bottles and I got ruts all over every place. I got one. I'm the only person on Main Street still got a hose coming up out of their
Well,
yard.
and we got one over by us too that's dangling over the sidewalk. And my little girl riding her bike, I'm like, well, when she clips that, like, who's ultimately
Yeah, They
responsible?
put one right up in the corner where I put my trailer next to the garage.
Yeah, they-
I've got it crushed down because I keep running over it.
You know, they bored right through Brad and Heather's sewer line.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, they did that to the bar the other night too. Shut down the bar one night, then they hit a gas line.
Just to bore through another one today. Joe, Heather,
Oh,
Jolene.
Joe.
and
Oh,
Joe, no?
Did it through her one.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm gonna reach out to him and say, I hope you guys aren't cleanup crew isn't done because this is not, otherwise I'm gonna reach out to go over your head and go to Golden West.
I don't know why they didn't use that, green spray on grass and stuff too, instead of just throwing grass seed out there like
Well-
chickens in water at once.
So some places they didn't separate the black. They could have separated the black dirt.
Yeah.
But they buried the black dirt first and then
Mhm.
now there's clay on top.
Yep.
And then they just half raked it and then threw grass seed and walked away from it. Like, that's not gonna do anything. And then they did it even over by the ball field. That's on a slope. Well, they didn't even put any straw or nothing or
No.
attention to, so that's all just washing down. So he's on my list also to call. I talked to him when they hit the bar. And of course they were gone. They left for the weekend to help back home.
mm,
'Cause Kathy couldn't even hardly run the bar, so. But, yeah, I got the signs up. I don't know if you guys driven by the ball field with all the signs up down there.
looks really
Looks
nice.
Looks good. We had a lot of compliments on that. They're like, oh, the field looks awesome with all them lights or signs. I'm like, oh, that's good. So we've had 2 more reach in. Oh, yeah, I do have more, Dad. Sorry. We had 2 more that reached out they could put on.
We got one more again today in the mail as well
Who's that?
for light insurance.
Oh, yeah, that one's already done.
Oh, wait.
She called me and I already had. she
Oh, okay,
mailed
yeah.
it, so, yeah. those were
I
done.
just got the payment. Then.
Yeah.
So, all right.
But it did make me expand on that. So do we want to, for like committees and, like nonprofit organizations have it at a different cost to put up a sign? So like I had one person that wants to do the Colton Senior Citizens Club and, the Legion. The Legion. But they just want one sign like on the big field. We obviously, do we make them stay at a business price or do we let organizations come in at a little bit of a different price? So like Colton Community Connected, Pink Ladies, you know, the Legion,
Lions Club.
Lions Club, do we let them come in at a better cost? You know, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think if we do that, it'd be nice to take like the big sign and split it into 4s and have 4 of them on one of those bigger signs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get a lot of space taken up with.
You gotta go.
Well,
probably get
we're
some-
already kind of, well, the little fields, we have them spaced every other thing, and we're starting to put the one east field falls in between, so.
It's kind of a good problem
It's-
to have.
I was gonna say, it's a good problem to
We got
have.
plenty of room on the big field yet, we do have plenty, but if it maybe gets to the point where now that big field starts filling up, then we crunch them. But what do we want? I mean, what price would you guys feel? We do $850 for 2 signs and a little signs. And they just want one sign. So do we let them come in at like $300 for a sign, or $400 for a sign, or $500 for a sign? I mean, what are you guys', or do we just?
So, remind me what the lowest priced one is and what
Lowest
that all
price is
entails.
$450, and that gets you on just the little field, and they just want on the big field, one sign on the big field. That's all they want.
What is it for our one sign in the big field?
One sign on the big field. The only way to get a sign on the big field is $850. That's the lowest that you can get on the big field, but you also get another sign on the little field, and you get one on the bleacher.
So they
You get
just
a-
want
you
one
get
on the
one on-
big field.
They just want one on the big
You
field.
get one on the bleacher. for
Yeah, that's what I meant.
all of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, but we're just
and
talking
we're
just to
still
get on
gonna
the.
do those ones on the side of the pool?
That's Colton Community Connected.
Right, so they're taking care of that?
Yep.
Okay, so,
It's just pretty much letting them get recognition out there. I mean, so I don't care on the price. I know the one that reached out said, I'm willing to pay 500, which I think is more than fair, seeing 400 gets you another sign, or another 300 and some dollars gets you another sign in the little field plus whatever. So I don't know if we do let them come in.
I mean, I'm guessing for a nonprofit, I'd be okay with doing a lower dollar amount, that 420, what was it, 425?
450.
450 instead of the little field, put it on a big field
And that's
for a nonprofit, like your Lions clubs, your Legions, your VFWs, Colton Country Days, stuff like that, where the money goes back to the community. I'd be okay with that.
where they're still getting some recognition.
oh, yeah.
for their work.
You wanna go 450 or you wanna go 500? Keep it a round number.
I don't know. I think I guess me 450. I mean, if we want to go round number, then I guess 400. I guess I don't know. I mean, their signs are costing us 175. Make.
So you go with the 450, just
Yeah,
keep it at
450.
that little, then we're consistent with the pricing, Then we're not
Well, if the
confused.
signs are costing 175.
Yeah.
So why not 475? So we get 300.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Then at least we're
And
300.
And I would think, that'd be only for nonprofit, and I think they should have to prove they're a nonprofit to do it.
Yeah.
Just because somebody says they are, obviously we know certain ones that are.
So we get a business
But-
that comes in that. Yeah. Like,
Just
say,
because
if-
you aren't making a profit doesn't mean you're.
If we have like someone like Goodwill coming in and say, I'm not, I'm a charity.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's all I got.
Motion adjourned?
Yep.
Joe?
So again, Chaz, all those in favor say aye.
I,
All opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
Alrighty, you guys have a good rest of your guys' night.
Yeah,
You have a good
you
one, Matt.
too.
You, Matt.
You're listening, were you?
Yeah, I just moved back into town, so I wanted to figure out what's going on.
We kind of just,
You may.
yeah, we met before.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
Got an open seat.
I don't think he's in the right ward, though. That's Jack Geary. That's he's.
Well, we're gonna get out.
I know.
I gotta end the stream.
Oh,
I brought my-
No, wait,
don't
let's
swear. Don't swear.
Oh,
We're
so-
still live.
Not if I have anything to say about it, and I do.